Hi everyone, my name is Diane Laney. I am a married mother of 4 children and 3 grandchildren. I am just beginning my journey in the study of marriage and family here at BYU, Idaho. Talos is a boys' home aimed at helping teenage boys dealing with depression, anxiety, substance abuse, addiction, and social problems. Their staff uses proven clinical therapies coupled with the power of healing relationships to promote lasting change. Their aim is to help teens live principle-based lives characterized by insightful choices. Talos is a place where boys find clarity, healing, and direction. The job title I will be focusing on at Talos is Director of Aftercare. I interviewed Larry Smith, who is Director of Aftercare at Talos, and my report is based off of his responses. Talos has a staff of 35 people in addition to Director of Aftercare. This includes management, therapists, teachers, activity directors, and a substance abuse specialist. Hours for the Director of Aftercare are 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. and occasionally it'll go later as needed. As Director of Aftercare, Larry Smith deals with clients and with the client and his family just before and after he returns home to his family over a 6-week period to ensure that the client doesn't revert to his old habits. So travel is a must in this position and is often out of state. For these changes to be permanent, the parents and family must make changes too. Smith tells the parents that they must learn to take over where Talos leaves off. So much time is given to educating and preparing the parents for this transition. This is a relationship-based program, meaning that relationships with the client comes first and is the predictive factor of everything that follows. A lot of flexibility does come with this job, and sometimes Smith will put in a 60-hour week, while other times he puts in 30 hours. He has downtime each afternoon where he can visit with clients who meet with him in his office at Talos. These are patients of his and not Talos, which is an amazing benefit to him. Chemistry between the client and therapist either works or it doesn't, and this can be hard on a therapist's ego. Smith suggests never take accountability for the client's successes or failures. Free agency is a personal thing. This can burn a therapist out if they are too tied to their clients' lives. Another stressor to watch for is clients whose behavior can be extreme, thus feeling extreme emotions and acting out. He says that we must be comfortable with others' discomfort. We can connect with clients, but not too far because we can't go down this emotional path with them and still maintain objectivity. He says to be aware of over-identifying with clients. We have to be able to step back and help them see other possibilities. The other thing you have to be careful of is transference and countertransference. Transference is where the session becomes about the therapist, where what the client is experiencing triggers something that the therapist has gone through, and if we are not careful, the client can end up counseling the therapist and become responsible or feel responsible for him or her. So stay somewhat distant and maintain boundaries as a counselor. Countertransference, which occurs when a therapist transfers emotions to a person in therapy and is often a reaction to transference. This is largely an unconscious phenomenon. Therefore, it is so important that therapists master the tendency to participate in this by developing healthy boundaries and remaining mindful of the threat posed by countertransference, both to the therapeutic relationship and a therapist's work with people seeking treatment. Sometimes therapist has a client who gets physically violent and needs to be restrained. In cases like this, he will have to have someone outside of his door for a few sessions until the person is better able to control themselves. Sometimes calling 911 is needed when a client is threatening harm to themselves or others. This would also have to be reported to the authorities. A counselor must be able to wade through the misery of another person. We have to ask ourselves, how comfortable am I to escape away the scabs of another person? We will hear horrific things, so being able to stay peaceful and not judgmental will help in the healing and growth process of the client. The ability to have a poker face will help the client feel comfortable in sharing his or her issues. Tolerance for someone does not equate acceptance of behavior. Smith says that this is something easily misunderstood by therapists. Current law today does not force a counselor to work with clients they are not comfortable working with. A therapist bias is a huge impediment to working with clients. We must decide which population of people we are most comfortable working with. We can't work with all populations. For example, if we are a battered woman, we probably won't be comfortable working with battered women or the men who battered them. Another example would be if you are strong pro-life and working with someone working through getting an abortion just might not work. This might not be the best fit. It's a conflict of interest and could easily hamper the progression of the client. Additionally, if we have very strong moral feelings about the LGBTQIA community, we might want to refer them to another professional comfortable with working with these issues, as our personal biases will not help the client. Of course, being respectful and professional is of utmost importance. Our ability or inability to help a client should always be addressed with professionalism while we refer them to someone who is better fit for the client. Benefits are for full-time employees at Talos. They have 401k matching that starts after a year of employment. And after 2 years, matching follows the employee after they leave Talos. Health insurance is through SelectMed. Health options are available to choose from. There's dental and vision. There's paid vacations, and it starts at 12 days a year and caps off at 20 days and accumulates month by month. There's paid holidays. Throughout the year, there's 10 of them. There's free meals. There's a fitness program, which includes paid entrance to triathlons. Larry says that for him, the major benefits are working with clients and helping them. Common job tasks for this position are meeting with parents to educate and prepare them for when the client returns home, performing exiting assessments for clients and families, developing detailed, comprehensive treatment plans tailored to the client and his family to encourage permanent success, travel to the home of the client several times over a 6-week period, collaborate with staff, meet regularly with the executive director for review and updates, assist in training clinical support staff at Talos, maintain accurate attendance and note-keeping skills. Work at Talos as a therapist or aftercare director. The educational requirements are a master's degree or higher in clinical mental health counseling or in social work from an accredited university or college. You would need to be a licensed clinical social worker, LCSW, and a licensed clinical mental health counselor, CMHC, which is the license current for the state of Utah. He mentioned that the clinical medical health counselor, the CMHC license test, is strictly tested on what would the book tell you to do. Normally, you wouldn't be required to have both licenses, but for this position, it is required. Smith went on to clarify that to be a private therapist on your own, you would need to be fully licensed with a CMHC license. However, you can work under someone else as an associate before you are fully licensed. Salary range starts at Talos at $36,000 for those who are just out of college and not fully licensed yet. For experienced, fully licensed therapists, the salary is $50,000. Smith did mention that if you're looking for higher pay, high school counselor median pay is $65,000. So it starts out a little bit lower for less experience and it goes higher for more experienced. Miscellaneous career information Larry Smith shared with me was that working in this profession, we must demonstrate compassion, flexibility, and dependability. We must have the ability to pass a background check and the ability to work independently. He said that communication is key. A willingness to take feedback will help you become a better therapist, and having thick skin is a plus. Thank you for your time. I can't wait to watch all of your presentations.